It is January 20th, episode 19 of The Take is coming your way next. Oles is with me, as he's been over the last few weeks. Mets swing and miss on George Springer. He's headed to Toronto. 6 years, $150. They also signed Kirby Yates yesterday for 1 year, $5.5, and they might be on the verge of signing Michael Brantley. So after the Blue Jays missed out on a lot of guys, they're starting to sign some key pivotal pieces for the 2021 season. Mets have to pivot, as the great Ross Geller says, on some different pieces. But before they work on personnel, they had to fire Jared Porter after 37 days after sending some unsolicited images to a foreign female reporter.
Despicable. Yeah,
they can his ass. Rightfully so. Mets Steve Cohen said, we're working on the culture. This is not what, we're not wasting any time. We're canning him. It just goes to show you that after this male-dominant sport and a male-dominant industry, what women are facing, on the daily. This is not the first and the last.
No,
that this is going to happen to women.
Many of these stories.
So we're gonna tackle that conversation a little bit later. The door just opened from wind. I hope that reaction's gonna be there. Okay. I was so scared. Anyway, the take is up next. Championship weekend, also NFL. Bucks, Pack, Bills, Chiefs, Mahomes playing. We'll talk about that next on the take. Well, I guess we'll tackle really the biggest story that's come out in sports over the last few days, and that's the Mets firing their general manager, Jared Porter, for something that happened all the way back in 2016. He texted this woman 62 times with no answer.
And that's one thing on its own. Then
get a hint after three.
Yeah, but no shit. Like, get a hint, but also 62 texts in a row. Like, okay, text. But then you decide, like, oh yeah, you know what's really gonna get me a response? She
hasn't answered the first 55. Maybe if I send my Dick Willie on the 56th one, she'll respond.
Yeah, and every girl loves getting an unsolicited dick pic, right? That's just a great way to get them to talk to you.
For legal reasons, that is sarcasm.
Yeah, that's
very sarcastic.
But and now a lot of people saying, of course this happens to the Mets, and it shouldn't, that's not the first thing that should be coming to our minds, But I'll just mention, of course it happens like a year after they hired Beltran. So like Beltran didn't manage a game in a Mets uniform. Porter doesn't make it to opening day as the GM. So back-to-back things, but
two totally different situations.
Right. This story really brings upon the issue of how terribly women are treated in. I would branch it to professional sports that work in professional sports, because this,
absolutely. It's not just baseball.
Right. It's not baseball. This is male dominant.
Yeah, men don't want to give up their sports
when it comes to and not just the job, like the report, being a reporter, the front office. The front office is since
all facets of sports. It's not even just women working in sports. It's women women that are sports fans. Like, they deal with it all the time. It's not, stupid men, I should say, just think that sports are for men and men only, and it's really, I can't believe that. Well, I can't believe because of everything that goes on in this world, but it's really a conversation that you wish that we wouldn't have to have in 2020 or 2021 now, and that, like, just let people like what they like and not have, like, if women like sports, or if women want to work in sports, you shouldn't demean them because they're women. Most of them are probably smarter than these idiots who are fucking commenting all the sexist things on their tweets and profile, all this stuff, and trying to objectify them when they're just doing something they're interested in, something that they love,
And this is the
and
biggest thing that, like,
get harassed.
She didn't know what to do. She got an advisor to send that text. Hey, like, what you're sending me is, like, really inappropriate. Can you please stop?
And he says I'm sorry, and
he
continues.
He goes, I apologize.
Yeah,
I apologize.
And then continues to do it.
Yeah. He was like, oh, look, so I'm at Dodger Stadium. Send a picture of like Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Get that fuck out of here. So
She worked for the Dodgers?
No.
she was a foreign, I think like a reporter.
Foreign reporter, I think, for the Cubs, and then
Yeah.
I forget. I think she definitely worked for other teams after that, but
the fact that someone made the fact that a male made a female so uncomfortable to not want to do the job that they enjoy doing.
Yeah. Fearful.
Right. Like,
and especially
apparently
foreign, she didn't know she didn't really know the culture here, and obviously she didn't really know how to respond to these things, and like I don't think her English was that good at the time. Like, it's just a really fucked up thing, and I feel like it's such a bad way of saying it, but like, why do certain men feel the need to do these things?
It's crazy too. Like I think so. Like obviously, 2016, all this happens. Like nothing. 2017, 18, 19, 20. Like he stopped texting her. He stopped doing whatever. Apparently, though, in spring training in Arizona, I think they were in Arizona together, and she avoided, and she saw him right away, and she was like, I have to avoid this man at all costs. Like I have to hide.
It's awful.
It's really
literally awful.
I say to put someone in that situation is absolutely inhumane.
Repulsive.
Yeah, it's literally repulsive. And so Sandy had his press conference yesterday. A lot of reporters asked some questions, and he was saying, we got great recommendations, blah 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 blah. Everyone, all males. They didn't ask one woman. They didn't talk to one single woman about him. And okay, do I blame the Mets for that? No, because again, this is a male dominant industry. I feel like they did do the correct background check on him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's really only the 3 or 4 select people who knew about all of this before, they published this article. It's rough to see. Obviously, the Cubs were caught off guard.
Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks were caught off guard.
I'm wondering though now, their MLB is going to be asking, or they should be asked the same questions, and MLB is doing a full investigation of this. And knowing him, the all-knowing Theo, do you think no one knew at all in his time with the Cubs or the Diamondbacks?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that no one knew, but who knows? Maybe someone didn't say it to the right person, or no one felt comfortable saying it to the right person, because you know what happens when women tend to come forward. They tend to get the backlash and the brunt of it. So they might, someone might have been afraid, or a male confident might have been afraid to come forward on behalf of the reporter. It's just, I don't really understand how hard it is to treat anyone with respect in any setting. It's just really despicable to do these sorts of things, and sadly it happens more often than anyone would think. It's just we don't know about them.
Yeah, and again, we say it happens every day. You got people, fucking weirdos on Twitter, bombarding women's DMs, not even in sports, on the daily.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Mets did right though. They weren't standing for it. Cohen said, "Listen, that morning we terminated him. He's out." And not that okay. So, and it's fine. It came out now, and 5 years later, he's gonna get another shot.
Oh, I absolutely wouldn't be surprised to see that.
At some point, there's gonna be forgiveness. And I don't want to be that person that says, one thing you do dictates the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Maybe he will deserve a shot down the line. I don't know.
We'll see.
But for right now, he needs to.
Absolutely. Right now, he's not. It's
Yeah.
two different things, but that was the same
needs to
thing.
Show remorse and a lot of change to even think about
Right.
getting something, especially in a field that is so hard for anyone to get into. To see someone who does that kind of thing in that position, obviously he's respected for his baseball knowledge in the industry, but there are too many people who do things the right way, men and women, that it'd be really rough to see him get another shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now we get back into players and how the offseason has started to develop. Springer signs with Toronto.
6 years,
6 years, 150. Kirby Yates signs with Toronto on a very nice 1 year, $5.5 million deal. Coming off TJ. He's been one of the most reliable closers with the Padres over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Toronto finally gets a nice back-end bullpen piece.
It'd be nice to see how he responds to Tommy John, you know. You never know what's going to come out of it. I mean, obviously it's more consistent now with the surgery than it was, you know, even a few years ago. But he was a dominant force in that Padres bullpen, which now really didn't need him.
Right.
Especially after not really having him last year. Blue Jays are trending up.
Trending up, and it's looking like they have a possible deal for Brantley. It was reported that they accept, 3 years was good, and then Jeff Passan went, nope.
Put on the brakes. Shitting on every.
Put on the brakes,
reporter.
Relax, and then now they're saying that Toronto's offered something to Brad Hand. So, look, a lot of people went to bed last night, Mets fans, really disappointed. And
it's fair to be
fair to be a little bit disappointed. Going to this offseason, this was the guy.
Yeah.
This was the guy that was said that they were going to get. I mean, should I call up Buster Olney and say you owe me his farm? I mean, he did bet his farm a month ago.
But we even talked about it last week. He got 6 years, $150 million.
Mets offered 6/125. They were to go to that.
Still a lot. It's $20 million a year for
a little more than 20.8. Yeah.
A 31-year-old outfielder. And don't get me wrong, like he's still a very good player. Postseason, we obviously know what he can do.
Offense, defense, he's a very good all-around player.
I know I said it last week about yes, Steve Cohen is here, and yes, we have this unlimited money and blah blah blah. But you don't want to take up to the luxury tax like immediately that you can't. Conforto still needs an extension. Now you traded for Lindor. He's going to need an extension. If you sign Springer, you're getting right up to that luxury tax threshold now. And obviously, apparently there's rumors that they may try to trade Familia to offload some things, which I obviously assume won't happen now because they're not getting Springer. But 6 years, $150 million is a lot. And it would have tied them up for the future because Lindor is going to get an extension.
Especially when you
$300
know that Springer will not be playing center field for all 6 seasons.
Yes.
He's gonna become a right field. He's gonna go into a corner outfield position.
And honestly, I think I'd rather have Conforto there for the long term.
Here's the thing, if you're telling me that not signing Springer allows me to get the next 7-8 years with Conforto and Lindor, I'm signing up for that.
Absolutely.
Every day of the week. And you got a lot of people going, what happened to all of this money, free agent money? You have to account that the Mets got the best shortstop in the league via trade. That has to count as an acquisition. I'm sorry. If you don't.
It does. And they didn't give up big prospects to get him.
No.
So that's $20 million to the payroll. Trevor May is $9 million to the payroll. They just traded for Johnny Lucchesi.
Yes, and that's pre-arb. So that was a great deal.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. And he's got 2 options.
They signed someone else, no?
Well, they brought in Carrasco for 12. Carrasco's 12 this year. And McCann's, average of 10.
Arbitration awards, everyone's going up.
Yeah.
Dude,
they gave over $70 million to like 8 guys.
They are still the team who spent the most money this offseason.
Yes, without a doubt.
But, same old Mets. We didn't get George Springer,
And
throw Steve Cohen, why do we want this guy?
This Brad Hand news
is so much better.
This Brad Hand news is kind of... That's the guy I want, because I really want them to bring in a lefty bullpen arm and an elite one. I'm wondering how they piece together the rest because there are moves coming. Moves will be happening.
Yeah, the
They
dominoes
missed
are started to
right.
fall. The big, pitching wise, Bauer's still out there, but obviously the Mets are not. I really doubt the Mets are in on Bauer. I don't really want them to be.
Bauer and Real Muto are the last quote unquote $100 million man left out there.
Even if they get that,
and
well,
Bauer might sign a, but Bauer might be like, I'll sign a 1 year deal. Screw it, I'll do one for 27.
Yeah,
something like that. I think it's looking. I think at some point Real Muto is gonna have to just like accept it. I think he's gonna go back to Philly for 5 for 100. I think just that's what it's gonna be.
Look, that's money I wouldn't complain about.
20 million a year at your position.
20 million a year, I would, and for a team that's not bad, not great, but
also if they lose Real Muto, they are looking at to be the worst team in the division. Close. I can't tell Miami at this point. Close. You know what I'm saying?
The Marlins are on the up,
after bringing Harper in.
Yeah.
What does that say to Bryce Harper? Yeah, we can't. We're not bringing. And that was the whole thing in the beginning of the offseason. Yeah, we can't. We don't got the money for him anymore. And you have a no. Oh, and you said you didn't want a no trade clause, so yeah, you're stuck here in Philly.
Yeah. Look, it's. I don't know. I didn't really want the Mets to go after Harper. I didn't think that was the right move, and I'm glad they didn't. And obviously, it's awesome now to see that the Phillies are. Not awesome for baseball, but awesome for the Mets.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If the Phillies do bring in JT Realmuto, I would actually feel good as a baseball fan to be like, that's what should have happened.
Yeah.
Like if he goes somewhere else for like nothing and they don't bring him in,
it's a bad.
Big
market.
Yeah, it's really bad. I think that's really bad. And now it's looking. A lot of Met fans on Twitter. Yeah, we could pivot to JBJ, but do you want all 3 of your outfielders batting lefty? I think a good pivot is Kike Hernandez. I think for the versatility he brings, dude, he's got a lot of clutch in him. Postseason with the Dodgers, I would he's one of my favorite guys. Was my favorite guys on that Dodgers team. I think Kike Hernandez would be a great addition to this team.
And a good fun person.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would really fit well with this young Mets team. That even before Steve Cohen got here had a big kind of personality, guys who are outgoing and. Obviously, we all know the whole Cookie Club story. I think Kike Hernandez would bring in a good personality fit to this team. And, yeah, is he the most exciting player they could get in free agency? No. But the Mets, not that they don't need another big player like that, or not that they shouldn't want another big player, but the depth signings are incredibly important for this team.
Yeah, especially what you saw last year. That was the biggest reason that they truly stuck. Their pitching was absolutely abysmal, and every replacement they got was just couldn't step up to the plate at all. Okay, again, Springer. If you brought Springer in, yeah, you're being talked about like the Dodgers and the Braves. And dude, without Springer, you can't tell me they're still a top 5 NL team right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue it.
I'm saying you put them behind the Dodgers, the Padres, and Atlanta. They're better than every team in the NL Central.
Yeah,
they are. That's just it. So I still think that they're 4th.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't disagree with you there. And look, this wasn't a 1-year turnaround. I think Mets fans
they're getting greedy. Dude, starting to get greedy.
They're getting greedy, and they think we have the Dave Portnoy. I have unlimited money. It wasn't a 1-year fix, and even Steve Cohen acknowledges that he wants to build. This team. He wants to rebuild the farm system.
Success.
To be a continued winner like the Dodgers, like the Yankees. It wasn't going to be a 1 year we go for it all and then we have no money, we're tied up at this luxury tax.
Do people also realize that next offseason is going to be one of the biggest star-studded offseason classes in the last 5 years? Yeah. Now I get a lot of them are shortstops, so if the Mets do extend Lindor. That's money that they want to put where a lot of other teams are thinking about. They can put their assets somewhere else.
It would help them early on in the offseason to target the guys they want to target.
Exactly. I think that Brad Hand, I like Jeff.
Dodgers eyeing Trevor Bauer. Monitoring the market and could be a player. Talk about unlimited money. I don't understand.
Wow. That's such an interesting thing because
rotation is already.
I think
Kershaw, Bueller, Price,
Trevor.
Passan
even reported this last month.
Dustin May, yeah.
that he said like if he goes to LA, don't be surprised if it's not the Angels. That
if that team gets him, just don't even play the season. They have to win the World Series again.
Again, yeah. But no, the Mets would have taken Kike Hernandez from them.
Stop.
I mean, I would totally sign up for Hernandez, Hand, like a combination of maybe Jeffress. You bring
Stroman's been recruiting him apparently,
And
on Twitter.
I'm wondering if they're still in the market for a trade for third base. They apparently heard source they've reached out to Cincinnati about Suarez and Sonny Gray. Here's the thing though, Suarez is not a good defensive shortstop.
Third baseman.
Third baseman, right? But he's got negative defensive metrics.
You know me. I've never been high on him. I don't think he's the best player, and I'd rather roll with J.D. Davis there or McNeil. You can always pivot to second too if you really wanted to. You could put McNeil at third.
I think that they've been like.
Obviously,
they've been on. McNeil's in his best position to play.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. But I don't know. I think you stick with third base. I don't know. Obviously, they were linked to Arenado originally. I would hope they were linked to Bryant too. I really hope they don't make either of those moves.
I don't think the Cubs are going to trade. I don't think the Cubs would do that in one offseason, dumping Darvish and Bryant and truly telling their fans, hey, we're done.
It wouldn't surprise me the way they've been trending.
Yeah, we're rebuilt. All right, last few takeaways. Structure the rest of the offseason, like 3 moves. What would if it came to you, what would you want? Boom.
Hand, definitely. I mean, don't know if I'll get him. I would like to see Jeffress. I think he's been a very good and very underrated reliever. If you can get one or the two, or if not both, they do have the leverage now without going after Springer to get both. And then I would say Jackie Bradley Jr.
Still over TK. So would I. Even the lefty doesn't matter. I think JBJ defensively run prevention is a
huge.
It's better. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's just going to be what is he going to ask. I don't think that's a heavy contract for JBJ. Maybe two for 12 or something like that. So we'll see. Brantley might go to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are stacking up. Maybe the Mets will too. Who knows? Championship Sunday. I mean, you got 2 very, very good matchups. So last week, picks 2-2, 3-1.
Winner once again.
A good winner. I'm just looking at this. Biggest takeaway from the week. I don't know how Patrick Mahomes stood up after getting a concussion because he looked like he had spaghetti noodles as legs, and when the camera zoomed in on him, he did not know where he was at all. Literally looked like he saw a ghost, and he was pale as shit. I think, like...
He should have been carted off.
Yeah, like, Eric Fisher got him up and patted him on the back and was like, athletic trainer? Yeah, please take him off the field because he doesn't know where he is right now.
Yeah, they really...
And then he ran off. He ran into the locker rooms. Like, I gotta go.
I don't know. I missed a lot of the games, a lot of the action in most of the games this weekend, but...
The Browns-Chiefs game. Won that game. Yeah, the Browns-Chiefs game was the best one. Say what you want about the touchback fumble in the end zone rule. That
should have been a personal foul.
Right. Sorensen literally led with his helmet.
And you know what? Obviously, it would never happen, but that's something on replay that you should be able to call. Because how do you miss that call? It's not like something that's a judgment call. Like, he literally hits him with the crown of his helmet into his head.
Yeah. It's
reviewed in college. Obviously, I don't agree with it being targeting and he's ejected. But that should be a personal foul, one of 2 penalties of that type where you would get ejected. And that ball should have been placed. Obviously, it would have been like half the distance to the goal after that. But, I mean, how do you hold on to that ball when you get drilled in the head?
The rule, obviously, the call is different. Like you
touchback rule is also weird.
Right. That's the whole. That's all. I think the rule in itself is bad. They obviously that was the right call. Like he fumbled it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So once we were sitting in a pizza place in Lake Placid, and everyone's like, "Oh, he fumbled." I'm like, "That's a touchback."
Yeah.
Like people thought he was in. I'm like, "That's a touchback. He's not in."
So I think when it comes to the fumble rule, if you fumble and the other team does not recover and it's in the end zone, I think that at that point the offense or the Browns should at least get it at like the at the 30 or the 25. Like it brings you back.
I was
like you
I
shouldn't
don't
lose
know
the
if
ball.
You would,
Like
if
the
you
other
would
team
bring it
did
that
not.
far back, but I do like that. The question would be like, where do you spot? Do you spot it where he fumbled the ball? Because how do you do that when he fumbled it and it goes out of the end zone?
Right, that's what
I would think you make it a 5 or 10 yard penalty. Not I wouldn't call it a penalty, but you spot the ball. I would say 5 to 10 yards, like before he fumbled it, because it's a really weird rule. It's weird. Obviously, it doesn't happen that often.
It's weird though. It's happened. I feel like more than we think over the past.
It's been
few
happening
years.
more like in more prominent situations,
right?
Like more games that everyone's watching. But it's just it's a tough call. I really don't like the rule.
Yeah, it's a rule that needs to go.
It's something that there needs to be some consensus about, and somehow the offensive team should retain the ball because
the defense did not. They didn't recover it, so yeah, that's the whole thing. And like my dad and I were talking about, it's if you don't recover, make it. I'm saying make it the touchback of like that's why I said the 20. It's like all right, hey, offense gets the ball back at the 20. You didn't get you fumbled it in the end zone. You didn't get it. You're still in the red zone.
Yeah,
it brings it, but it's like hey, 1st and 10. Like
it's weird. Well, 1st and 10 maybe, but what if just say that it was like 3rd and goal and you fumbled out of the end zone. I don't think you make it 1st and 10. I think you get as long as the play didn't get a first down, I don't think you can award a first. You know what I mean? Like say you fumble and you weren't at the first. Obviously Higgins he was 40 yards down.
Yeah, right. It was right, of course.
But there's a lot of this rule that needs to be worked out.
Yeah,
and that at that point I knew the Browns weren't winning this game. Obviously Mahomes was still in
that
point, and they still did have a chance to win that game.
Well, that's the thing. When it went to halftime, it was a 13-point swing. The Browns were about to be down a score.
3 points.
Yeah. Touchback, Mahomes goes boom, 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 boom. Free 3 points from Butker. And what was it was what? 16 to 3?
I think.
Or 19 to 3. I think it was it was 19 to 3.
It was 19. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it would have been 16-10.
So
yep, that's what it was. Yep.
Down 6 points.
I mean, dude, went from and maybe if they score, they go down the field and get the field. But at that point, 19-10. Yeah. All right, so hey, it's not 16.
Instead of 13.
It's 9.
Yeah,
9 points. The Saints game really just made me want to just go just dig myself a hole.
Caught the end of that game. I think that it would have been wise of Sean Payton. I know it's hard, and you kind of knew it was Braze's last game beforehand, but I think you had to put Jameis Winston in.
Dude, they turned over the ball 4 fucking times. Not only that, Jared Cook blew the game for them. Yeah, they're up. They're up by a touchdown, right? They get the ball across midfield. Cook fumbles it in Bucks territory. If they go in, because that was a great drive to start. They were already 35 yards downfield throughout the drive. He fumbles the ball. Bucks get it back. They end up tying the game. If you're up, they could have been up by 2 scores easy in that game. Game's completely different. And then the third pick that Breeze threw goes right through his hands. Gets tipped up. They catch it. Yeah, I mean
it was bad.
Just to not the conversation for today. Not what we're focusing on. They're in trouble. They have to cut a lot of people. They are they're a full salary cap in debt.
Yeah, and the salary cap is probably going down.
Right. Like they have to cut probably 3 or 4 of their studs. Yeah. I'm talking like Teron Armstead, Marshawn Lattimore.
Lattimore's not coming back.
Right. Like there's no they're I don't no Breeze, right? They paid Kamara.
I'm sure Jameis will look at. No, I don't think he'll get a lot of money. So,
but I think he'll look at other options, or he'll be like, hey, like Peyton, like you're paying Taysom Hill, like what's the deal? That was a whole fucked up thing.
That experiment needs to end.
So they're looking, I think, to be not a good team next year.
No, the Bucks should run
their window, I think, has closed. And again, I'm as a big Saints fan in the sense of like I'm all about them, But
Are you now though?
In terms of
With Breeze retiring?
yes, but in terms of criticism, Sean Payton has done absolutely nothing with the talent over the past 5 years in this run after they had a lot of 7 and 9 years and Breeze was racking up all the stats.
Bad playoff
But dude,
losses.
12-4, 11
losses.
and 5, like 13 and 3, like having the home field advantage, having the number 1 seed, Vikings twice, and you don't need to count the Minnesota Miracle, but I still do.
No, you absolutely.
I have to. I still have to.
You have to make that play. It's not. You have to tackle it.
And maybe you say, all right, the missed PI against the Rams really fucked them.
That's one thing because they did. But look again, at the same time when you go in that, you had the ball in overtime and you throw a pick immediately.
Dude, the last they haven't
in that game besides
they haven't scored more than 28 points in any of these elimination games over the past 4 years.
For an offense
that's ranked top 3 every year.
Obviously, Michael Thomas was playing hurt.
That's another thing. Everyone's bagging on him. This dude's about to have 2 surgeries on his ankles because he's got ligament damage. Dude knew that it was Breeze's last game. So, that's fine. But again, I think, what would I call it? It was, and they didn't even make it to a Super Bowl. So I can't even, before the Dodgers won, I can't even compare it to a baseball team like that, maybe like the Houston Rockets or something like that. Like they had a clear, or even maybe the Indians with Ramirez, like they made it to 2016. They still made it and they made it to World Series. Right?
World Series.
They had this nice 4 or 5 year window where they averaged 12 wins, 11 wins a season, and they never made it to a more than one conference championship game.
Yeah, it's bad. Looking back
with a surefire Hall of Fame quarterback who obviously was playing great football until this past year and a little bit of last year. I'll never forget when they lost the Minnesota Miracle. It wasn't the talk. They were down by 13 points going into the second half. That second half by Drew Brees was one of the best the best halves by a quarterback ever in postseason history.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that game.
And it wasn't talked about because boom, Stephon Diggs went to the house and they didn't win.
That's so bad. That just the play should have never happened. That's so bad.
Enough of the Saints. They're done. Breeze looks like he's retiring. Philip Rivers announced his retirement. So Colts got to look for a quarterback. So we'll see how their offseason pivots. Maybe, dude, I mean, now that Peterson's out, I think Wentz is going to stay.
Could be.
But maybe if the Jets get Watson, maybe Darnold goes there. Maybe Mitch Trubisky. I'm not even kidding, mate. I have no idea.
I told Twomley, I know there's a lot of hate on Trubisky. But if a coach wants him, I think he can.
I think Frank Reich could help him out for sure.
A slightly above average quarterback, especially on that team, that could help.
Good defense. I know today's NFL defense doesn't carry you fully, but it definitely plays a role. All right, but this weekend, Bucks, Packers, Bills, Chiefs, both home teams, Packers, Chiefs, both -3 favorites.
So basically
they're throwing it out as, hey, who do you want? What's gonna happen? I'm wondering if Mahomes gets the 100%. Hey, he's starting. If it moves to 4-ish, maybe 5, I don't know. It's hard to not say Packers Chiefs Super Bowl.
No, it's easy for me. I'm taking the Bucks. There's no question about it. You know why I'm taking the Bucks. Because I can't bet on the Packers. I do not want to see the Packers play in the Super Bowl. The further they go, the more
you want to see another Brady.
I want to jump. I honestly.
You don't even give a shit.
Come on. If it was the Patriots with Brady, would you want to see the Bills win or the Chiefs win or the Patriots with Brady?
Chiefs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't see Aaron Rodgers win as a Bears fan. It doesn't matter. That's true. If it's Brady,
Yeah.
You're right. Brady, Patriot stuff, whatever.
I mean, I think all signs help the Packers in this game.
Oh, I don't really think that the Bucks are going to win this game, but I have to take the Bucks.
Yeah, I like the Packers. I think people continue to underestimate the Packers. Their defense has turned out to be pretty solid.
Yeah, they're playing very well. I mean, obviously, Rams were limited, so it's hard to see.
But Goff didn't even play terribly last week.
The Rams played a pretty good game. Obviously, Darnold, Jesus, oh my god.
Aaron Donald, yes.
Yeah, what's wrong with me?
Was limited.
He played 50% of the snaps.
Yeah.
Leonard Floyd looked like crap. Shocker there. Without
Jalen Ramsey cried to every other person in the secondary. Devontae Adams ripped him.
Ramsey
didn't matter. You knew that was
going
to
to
happen.
Greatest regular seasons, and then got torched by Metcalf and.
Well, no, he got to shut down. But besides the touchdown, no.
2 touchdowns.
I don't think that coverage was him though on Metcalf. The 1-on-1, he held him to 4 catches and like 40 yards. Yeah.
I mean,
that might have been actually all he had, including that touchdown. To be honest.
Yeah.
That 40-yard run. The Bills, like it's easy to say, hey, Mahomes is going to play Chiefs all the way. It's going to be a really fun game.
It's going to be whoever can make the stop.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think the Bills' defense is better than the Chiefs.
But both are not impressive.
Yeah.
The Bills' defense has not been impressive this year at all.
Well, I do think they were impressive last week. Or this week. Last week, we'll say.
Well, here's what's nice, dude.
Even before Jackson got
right.
hurt, they were
I'm saying containing
dude.
Matt Milano, that he's gonna get paid, and the Bills have to do everything they can to hang on to him. He's one of the best linebackers in the league, without a doubt. Now, what's that on?
Absolutely. I mean, they shut Lamar Jackson down, and look, we all kind of knew it was going to happen at some point with Lamar Jackson. He's got to throw to win these playoff games, and he just can't do it.
And you took the Ravens last week. What happened?
I did take the Ravens. I don't know. I just.
Circle the wagons, baby.
I thought it was going to be a closer game. And
no, for sure.
It really was until he threw the pick six and then got hurt.
Well, it's funny, when Huntley came in, they had a chance to tie the game. Yeah. They had a chance to tie the game.
So, I don't think it was a bad pick.
No, I didn't think so. There's a reason why it was 2.5, you know?
But I think I have to take the Chiefs here. Obviously, it's all dependent on Mahomes playing. And I think he will. You know how the NFL works. They're not going to roll into this unless he really can't go
right
with their biggest
biggest star, and you're going to deny Josh Allen versus Pat Mahomes, you know.
Chad Henne, Michigan legend.
Dude, big balls. Andy Reid. Dude, that play call. First off, the bootleg to run for 13.5 yards.
Look, they're lucky they were playing against a Browns defense that wasn't very good.
I won the FanDuel from that game.
You didn't invite me this week.
Well, I thought you were busy, so I don't know if
I
you were going to get it.
I absolutely would not have.
But if you do want in on these 2 games, I'll invite you for sure. So Mahomes got hurt. He was a lot of people's MVPs, and the people that were right behind me had Kelsey at MVP.
Okay.
So obviously, I had Mahomes. So I won by like 0.4, 0.5 points because the last few plays were literally Henne to Tyreek Hill, and I was like, please, like if Kelsey gets the ball. Do you remember? And the one throw that Henne made, Kelsey went the wrong way.
Yeah. He
made the wrong route. He was like, he knew he effed up. So when they iced the game, when they right to Tyreek, and he just like sat down, and was like, wow, by a ball hair, quick wins.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Me too. Will the run game be a factor? I don't know. Both of these teams' run game suck.
Big stink.
Yeah.
Moss is out.
Moss is out. Finally had a surgery. Singletary, not a bad back. I mean,
last year he was really good, and then this year they're like, we don't want to.
For Chiefs, like Damien Williams, dude, Le'Veon Bell has done nothing. I think they'd rather just run end arounds with McCole Hardman and Tyreek Hill than rather go to any of their running backs. So that's that. Chiefs, Packers.
Comes down.
That's it.
Defense. Which defense makes the stop?
Dude, there's only 2 games this week. That's it. That's sad.
Yep. You got 3 more games of football left.
Yeah. This is one of the best weeks of football, though. You're getting
2
possibly the 2 best games of the year usually. Packers, Chiefs for the Super Bowl 55. That's what we think.
No, I think Bucks. Chiefs.
I mean, he wants.
Want Bucks. Chiefs.
Well, that's another thing. If you want Bucks Chiefs, it's at Raymond James.
Yeah.
So that'd be the first time ever that a team.
Packers winning the Super Bowl. I hate you. Yep. Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Why do you have to do that?
Go Pack, go.
No,
Chiefs
we do
Kingdom.
not say that.
How about those Chiefs?
Hockey's back.
This
but
is the
Rangers
take.
are hurting. My
Yeah,
opinion.
Isles look good.
Hey, Rangers, shut them out. They won 1-1.
Okay. How about those Chiefs? This is the take.